Welcome back, everybody, to Swim Bike Run Alabama, a brand new week here at Straightdale Brewery. We have Allie Meeks, as usual, as our first guest. Allie, thanks for being here.
Sure.
Allie, of course, you know, is ReadySetSweat.net, a great coach here in North Alabama. What are we going to talk about today, Allie?
So today's topic is a book review. We haven't done one of these before, so I thought that might be kind of fun. Yeah.
Did you write it?
Something to read. I didn't write it, but I did read it.
Is this a pop quiz? I don't do good at
There's
pop
quizzes. There's going to be a test at the end.
Okay.
Is it on Audible?
So the book is called Swim Speed Secrets, and it's a book by an athlete named Sheila Tormina, who is a tremendous athlete. She is a 4-time Olympian in 3 different sports. Swimming, pentathlon, triathlon are her 3 sports.
And the pentathlon would be?
That would be... Now you're asking me? Now I'm not
I am asking you.
She read the book. She needs to know, right?
It's equestrian jumping, pistol shooting, swimming, fencing, and I think either cycling or running.
Are you making that up?
No,
that poor horse.
Serious. I am dead serious.
We're going to ride it and shoot the horse? That ain't right.
I'm Googling
and then
it.
the horse is going to swim after that. So
Trigger has one race in her.
Oh,
yeah.
You guys
Okay.
are so sad.
Our lovely assistant has Googled it.
Thank you. Yes. So anyway, she's written a great book called Swim Speed Secrets, and it's really a breakdown of freestyle from its kind of most physics standpoint possible. And she really talks about why you're doing certain things in your freestyle stroke. And it's a great book for triathletes because it really gives you the understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. And she talks about the kick, she talks about rotation, she talks about the pull, and all kinds of different things. And so one other piece that comes with that, if you want to purchase it separately, is, and I highly recommend this book, it's just terrific, there's a set of workout series that you can get that are called Swim Speed Workouts.
Okay.
Yeah, those are great. So those actually have swimming workouts that are based on the stuff in the book. And it's a 16-week series.
Do you by chance have a link on your website for the book?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I will put one on my website.
Cool.
But the cool
We'll put
thing
one
is,
on ours.
Yeah, and we can get, at some point, we can have Sheila maybe call into this show because I know her and I coach with her at some clinics around the country. And she's just a great person and just really fun and dynamic, and she'd be really fun to have on the show.
I think we've had the debate before, or the discussion before about, how much time do you want to spend on one discipline, say swim, to get faster, because it is the smallest component of a triathlon. Mm-hmm. But the counter to that is if you can be more comfortable in the swim and exert less energy, then you're going to come out of the swim.
Be careful what you pray for.
Yeah,
when I started swimming, it was I just want to be comfortable. and then after that, you want to be fast.
Yeah.
That's right.
And my wishes had run out.
Yeah, that's right. Being better at your swim helps you just be a better overall athlete, too. You can really build great aerobic capacity that can help you in the other sports as well.
I know Chris Borden had mentioned, if you're not first out of the water at that level that he's competing at, it's tough. You got a lot to make up.
To catch up. Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
if you come out of the water, you're not hypoxic. That's a huge advantage in getting on the bike, where you then become hypoxic.
Yeah.
But at least you start out on the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I can't even find my bike.
Yeah.
I think it's in the garage.
Well, I was going to say, if you can't find your bike, that's actually a good thing.
Oh no,
that
I can't
means you're
find
one
my
of the
bike
first
either.
out of the water.
That was a story 3 or 4 weeks ago. But,
Okay.
we don't need to retell
I'll
it.
tell you about it after this segment.
Well, I was going to say one other great thing about the book and
think Easter egg hunt.
Oh,
and Doug
that
Tinkham in
bad, huh?
transition. All right.
Who uses chalk to mark
But
arrows?
we digress.
But we digress.
In the rainiest city in the U.S.
Well, I was going to say, in this book, there are lots of pictures, and you could maybe use this technique, take a picture of where your bike is. That was a bad segue, but you know what I mean? This book has great pictures because you can see swimmers underwater, and in the book she shows pictures of Olympic swimmers and really good technique where you can actually see what they're doing underwater, and then you can kind of apply that to your own technique. So I find that to be helpful because you can show someone, hey, look, this is what the arm's supposed to look like. And I like, you read a lot of articles online, there's a lot of text, but sometimes there's not a great photo that shows you, here's what the top swimmers are doing.
Video is so much better to watch. I mean, if you can watch someone swim, in better form and try to emulate what they're doing, that's so much better.
Oh, and can I say something, Parker?
Yay.
I have video on my website.
I was going to ask, but I didn't want to.
I do it. Yes, yeah. I have video of some really amazing swimmers and some commentary that goes with it, so you can go on there and see what they're doing and why.
Do you have any poor swimmers so you can contrast it? I would be glad.
Are you volunteering?
I am. I'll just wear a mask.
That would be great. Oh, that's actually a funny story because Sheila told me that she had a not going to mention his name, but a guy that she knew who was not a great swimmer, and she needed someone for her book who was not that great, so she could. And she
David
called
Rawlings.
him up, and she said,
Was it David Rawlings?
"No,
Okay,
no,
never mind.
no,
All right, go ahead.
No, not at all." But she called him up, and she said, "Hey, do you want to be in my new book, Swim Speed Secrets?" And he was like, "I am honored.
Man,
I want to
yeah.
be in it." And as it turned out, she wanted him to be the guy to say this is what not to do. Is that not sad? But you got to have that guy. So thanks, Doug, for volunteering to be that guy.
Everyone has their special place.
Yes. Yeah, so it's a great book. It's a pretty affordable book, and if you pick it up, I think you'll learn a lot. So I wanted to just let folks know about it. It's the best selling book right now in swimming, and there's just a lot of great books out there in swimming, but this is one that I thought it'd be fun to talk about, let you guys know about.
Well, I think that swimming, is key. Obviously, getting into a triathlon, being comfortable in the swim, being fast in the swim, because it sets the tone for your whole race.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
it's great. Allie, we appreciate you being here as always. Very informative. Check out Allie's website, ReadySetSweat.net, and she's got great tips on there and great links on there.
Yes.
Great videos on there. Allie, we'll see you next week here on Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another segment on Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama. We're here at the Straightdale Brewery on Lebanon Ferry Road. If you haven't come down to Straightdale Brewery, you owe it to yourself to come down and enjoy some of their great microbrews right here in Huntsville. Speaking of Straightdale, Doug, we have with us Matt Broadhurst from Straightdale.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Matt.
It's always a pleasure.
Matt, we were here the other day, and a couple weeks ago, rather, and we were at the homebrew festival that you had. There was a little competition, and that was a cool thing. I had a bunch of
wedding,
beers.
Weren't you?
I'm trying to remember where I was that weekend. I was at my sister's wedding.
Wedding.
I was in middle of nowhere, Illinois.
Yeah.
But they still had beer.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's all
plenty of those places up there. But great beer here, and man, you got a great announcement for us today, and that Straightdale has 2 new beers.
Yeah. We've got Gorilla Knot, which is a yearly we do. It's our Imperial IPA. It's huge for us. It's literally went to the distributor on Monday, and I believe it's 40 cases left in the distributor. Everything else is sold out. It's a huge pallet wrecker. It's a gorilla. That's why we call it that.
Kong.
It is. Yeah. It is. And then this year we threw out something special, something we've kind of been sitting on. We've had 2 years in the barrel. It's a English style ale. 2 years in a bourbon barrel. We kind of been playing with it. 2 years seemed to be the peak. We pulled it. We bottled it. We call it Dark Planet.
So when you come up with that beer, I mean, you've got the recipe on how to make the beer, but how do you come up with the names for the beer?
You got to drink it first.
We just kind of make it up.
Yeah.
Like, we'll throw some ideas around. Sometimes Dan will just come and say, here's what it's called.
Okay.
Dark Planet was actually a employee of ours. Had come up with that. He just kind of threw it out there. And we're like, yeah, we like that. So Gorilla Knot, we just kind of did the play. So we have Monkey Knot,
Right.
Monkey's Uncle, and then Gorilla Knot. So we kind of work our stages there on that. But, like Velvet Evil, employee just threw that out. He's like, ooh, it's velvety smooth. It's like, and it's evil because it's high ABV. He's like, ooh, it's Velvet Evil.
That's a good
name.
name.
So we, everybody here pitches in. Everybody has an idea. The one time we tried to do it by vote was horrible experience. And I think we spent 4 hours arguing about the name of a beer.
Pabst. Yeah, Pabst.
Almost. But, we also did it online once. That was a horrible mistake because oddly enough, people were naming the beers that we already had names for. Like, they're like, hey, call it Warner Von Braun. Well, we already do that beer. Call it Brother Joseph. We already do that beer.
Yeah.
So we stopped doing that. We just keep it in-house now.
Yeah, you got to say now you can vote, but you can't be drinking while you vote.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, it's
I know every time I go to the polls, there's someone there with a bottle of whiskey.
That's it. A half pint.
Best
for
way
you,
to do
sir.
it.
That's it.
Yeah. So how many barrels did you make of each?
All right. So Gorilla Knot we did 60 barrels of, which is a fair amount. It's more than what we did last year. Last year we did 40. We upped it, did 60. The Dark Planet, I actually don't know the barrel count on it, but we did 209 cases of Bombers only on it because it's pretty much what was in the barrels is what went into the bottles. So
But you told us not to pull the nail out of.
Yes.
Which we did not do.
Yeah, so that kind of dictated to us how much we're going to be able to do with it.
And so it's 209 of the Bombers, and you waited 2 years to bottle this.
Spent 2 years in a barrel. I don't know if we did that on purpose or if we're just that lazy.
Okay.
So,
We're
now,
dedicated
yeah,
to
well,
quality.
I think we
will serve no beer
I think
before
we
it's
wanted to see
time.
what would happen. We've never put anything in the barrel that long. We're like,
so how do you decide of the 209, which is a very small batch?
It is.
How do you decide where those bottles go?
So we'll obviously send the majority in state. That's our biggest market is here in Alabama. They got at least half of the cases. Everything else will get spread out to Mississippi, Tennessee, and Georgia. So
okay. And so
we need to wrap this segment up, friends.
All right. I tell you what, we'll
It
be
goes
back
too
after
quick.
these messages, and we'll speak with Matt on another day. Matt, thanks for being here.
awesome. Thanks, guys.
We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment here on Swim Bike Run Alabama. I'm Parker Edmiston with co-host and friend Doug Tinkham. And in studio with us once again is Mr. Matt Blevins from Blevins Bicycle Company. Matt, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me back. I know you guys missed me. I got all those late night texts.
We did
and
miss you. You were like our first guest.
Oh, my God, he's one of the best. He's one of the best. He's always got a lot of stories to tell, and he's going to tell us now about cross cycling. Cyclocross.
Yeah. So cyclocross has been around forever. It's a big European sport. It's actually really growing in the South, really growing in the United States, especially up Northwest, Northeast. It's a completely different style of racing. Most cyclocross-specific bikes they look a lot like road bikes with knobby tires. That's the easiest way to describe them. But the good thing is, in all unsanctioned events, which are more unsanctioned than sanctioned events, you can ride pretty much, run what you brung is what they say. So you can bring.
What was that saying again?
Run what you brung.
Oh, run what you brung.
Yeah.
I thought you said rung what you brung. What does that mean?
Nah, so cyclocross is it's a pretty cool sport. It's mainly off-road with a little bit of pavement thrown there. There's a mix of dirt, mud, grass, blood, tutus, wigs, a lot of beer, and
this is if you want to have a great weekend of racing and a great weekend of just having fun and drinking with your buddies and watching some racing, this is the sport for you.
But what I wanted to talk about, it's growing in Huntsville now, finally, isn't it?
It is.
Aren't you leading the charge?
I don't want to take the credit for it.
I will affix that to you.
Well,
that's what we hear.
There are multiple groups of folks around. Blevins Bicycle Company is actually sponsoring a team this year. We've got a roster of approximately 15 guys and girls that are going to be racing. We are working hard to.
Were you asked, Doug?
Yes, I was.
I'm going to look for my invitation in the mail. Oh, wait, the team's already picked.
Hey, well, I was alternate number 73.
Yeah.
I personally am working with the city of Huntsville right now to kind of get some property to be able to do a race. I know that the owner of another bicycle shop is looking to do a cyclocross race too.
You can say his name.
I think Chris out at Bike Cove is doing one.
He
and
is,
maybe
he
I can
is.
put him on the spot. So I believe he's got something going out at the Space and Rocket Center this year. A good friend of mine, Davis Yarbrough, is heading up a race out at UAH this year. And I am working on getting one on JC's Fairgrounds this year. So that is very rare, but we'll see if it happens or not.
Now, these races, for those that know or don't know, these are races where you'll have obstacles. So you'll be on your bike, you'll pedal through the mud, dirt, grass, whatever, and then you have to get off your bike, go over an obstacle, and then get back on your bike.
Exactly. That's a really fun part of the cyclocross race is on and off your bike. If you're skilled enough, you can bunny hop, get over the obstacles. But most people will need to hop off, get back on.
It's not a windmill or a dinosaur.
A lot of the cyclocross courses, too, are a lot of fun because they're extremely tight and technical. So if you want to work on your bike handling skills in the off-season, cyclocross is the way to go.
And you've got folks that will line the course and cheer and jeer and
you mostly get heckled more than anything.
Anything.
So you're always hope.
And that's just from family.
Yeah, that
gets worse.
That's just family and friends.
I got heckled at breakfast today, so I'm a natural for the sport.
The strangers are a lot more fun to listen to. So watching it's always kind of fun to maybe see somebody fall over and flip over. But it's
hey, watch it.
It's a fun race, and for any triathletes out there, I've said for the last few years that you kind of have an unfair advantage of being quick at running because there's a lot of courses with big uphill sections where you can only run, and riding is not even an option. So
How about the cross country part? Could you do one there?
I don't know. I haven't asked. I think
Yeah.
it would be perfect.
Yeah.
But the only real issue with setting up a cyclocross race is it's in the wintertime, and the ground's usually wet, and it just destroys grass
Okay.
and destroys parks and that sort of thing. But it all grows back. So and
Right.
we're working on getting some sponsors in our own landscape company so that we can offset that.
So is it
impact.
passe to have one in another season? Or is it got to be winter?
You know, with there's a series in Alabama called Bama Cross. A guy out of Birmingham's been putting it on for years, and it's been really successful. Most of the races are fairly big, 1 to 200 people
Wow.
racing.
It's huge. Yeah.
And it's nice to do one to really get to get around the tri-season and the mountain bike season, the road season. It's kind of good to do it more in the fall and winter just because that's when people are more interested in it. So
Well, in Alabama, North Alabama, I guess our winter really doesn't hit till February or
It
so. I
just
mean, we'll have
depends.
cold weather,
Yeah.
but you don't get the real sloppy weather till early spring.
yeah, and I think being in North Alabama, we have a little bit cooler weather than what they do in Birmingham, and a
Yeah.
little bit more saturation too with rain. So it makes a lot more fun. A really wet cross race is a lot more fun than a dry cross race, just
I know
because.
the mountain bike course you set up at the Arsenal was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the Space and Rocket Center one is absolutely
Not the
absolutely
Arsenal. You're
yeah.
right. Space and Rocket.
If someone has land that they want to see some use, do they contact you?
Please do. If you've got an area or acreage where we could set up, say, a 1 mile course, that would be fantastic.
And a 1 mile course doesn't mean 1 mile of land because you zigzag
exactly,
back and forth.
it's zigzagging everywhere, and it's pretty easy to put a mile worth of course on, like just a few acres. So either at blevensbicycles@gmail.com or 256-270-8703. You can call me, and if you've got land you want us to use it, let me know. I'd absolutely love to.
That'd be great for a nonprofit group or someone trying to raise money, maybe to partner with you and
Totally, yeah.
and find some land and do a race.
Would you be interested in coming to the shows?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think we can get in anything and
Might be able
everything.
to work
yeah.
something out.
Yeah. So,
I see a Robert Trent Jones cross.
Possibly.
I mean,
That would
for the
be
winter
awesome.
time, wouldn't
Yeah.
that be great use
Oh,
of some
we've
land
got
out there?
Area where it wouldn't even be an issue for
Yeah.
golf, but it'd be awesome for biking.
Yeah.
that's great news. Yeah, we could definitely do something. Shoulder
Doug
area.
Tinkham is an innovator, and
Well,
he's an idea man.
If I can get a free weed eater out of somebody, Matt Blevins with a weed eater and a bush axe, that's a win-win.
You got to cut the last 6 holes right before this race starts.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Matt, listen, we appreciate you. I know that you're bringing in cyclocross to North Alabama. A lot of folks are excited about it. If you want to talk to Matt, you go down to Blevins Bicycle Company. And where's that at, Matt?
We're on Whitesburg Drive, about as far south as you can go in Whitesburg before you hit the Parkway, just across the street from the post office.
And if you want to get your bike tuned up, you want to talk about cyclocross, or you just want to talk about cycling in general, go down and see Matt.
Get a good cup of coffee.
A great cup of coffee. Matt, thanks for being here.
And thank you guys for having
All right.
me.
We'll be
Appreciate it.
back after this.
Now you can go.
Welcome back, everybody, to another segment here on Swim Bike Run Alabama. We're here at the Straightdale Brewery on Lehman Ferry Road, one of the greatest destinations that you can go to. And,
Greatest sponsor a boy could have.
Well, I tell you, it's like a dream. We're living the dream,
It
Doug.
is.
And
Well, now,
speak,
it's been a week. Now, Carrie, what have you done training-wise in the last week since we last saw you?
she sewed her shoes.
Oh,
That's what she did. I'm on the internet
So they
this
did
morning.
sell.
Yeah, I'm on the internet this morning. This lady says she's going to start training, and what do I see? Shoes for sale.
Exactly.
How could you?
Without inserts.
Yeah, without an so she's a
Busted.
barefoot runner now.
No shoelaces.
No
inserts.
shoelaces. Yeah. So now that you've sewed your
$130.
shoes, yeah. How are you going to train with no shoes?
Barefoot
maybe
running.
maybe I just won't train and I'll just show up on race day and see what happens.
I
Doug,
would-
what do you think?
I
No?
would not recommend that.
Oh,
My
okay.
last 5 races, I've done that.
Okay.
Big.
Crying
bad
like
idea.
a baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, how are you actually going to get ready for the Renaissance Band over in Florence in 5 weeks? 4
well,
weeks.
I figure
3
I,
weeks.
I need to
2
probably.
weeks.
Oh, this is scary. I probably need to get in the pool or maybe even in some open water at least once or twice before that, right?
You're a good swimmer, though.
Yeah, you're a good swimmer. You're a very, very good
That's
swimmer.
not an issue.
And and
It's
not
that
the
run is what I've found.
Yeah, the run after the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're probably going to have to do a couple of those brick workouts and.
Well, you're one of those crazy ultra runners where you've got hundreds of miles, a month that you typically do, and so you got a huge base at any time. So how would you
From
actually
the look on her face, I'm thinking anytime but now.
That
Now.
was typical a few months ago, but
Yeah. Well, I think you can pick up. I mean, it's a 6-mile run, so for you, I mean, you can get ready like that.
it's not the longest I've ever had to run. So I don't think I'll walk the whole thing. But
So when you're starting back after a layoff, let's say someone is coming off an injury, what would you suggest to them as far as getting started again?
Well, first of all, follow doctor's orders, and that's one of the things that I see a lot of people doing. Like after after having to take a break because of an injury, they'll be like they'll just kind of push the envelope and start a little bit too soon, and then start too fast too soon. And this happened to me. Oh gosh, it's been 3 or 4 years ago now, and I had to take off for 5 weeks. Doctor said no running for 5 weeks, and so I took that as okay. He's got to know better than I do. And I actually came back stronger from that. And so I would say that would be the first thing to do is, listen to doctor's orders and then kind of start back,
I've got the don't run for 5 week thing now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really good at it. I've doubled it. It's great.
Now, sitting on the couch drinking beer and eating Cheetos, was
Yeah.
that part of the RX?
Yes.
Excellent.
So you're going to follow doctor's orders, or if you just fell out of the sport, because there's a lot of things to do in North Alabama other than, swim, bike, run events. How are you going to start out now preparing 4 weeks down the road for your try?
Well, just like you said, I think an Olympic distance is something that, is within my reach, even if I haven't been training for it. I'm not going to podium. I'm not going to have the best race of my life, but I can get out there. I can have a good time. I can set my expectations to that, to just have a good time. And, it may not be the best I can do, but it's the best I can do for now. So.
Well, I think a lot of people get caught up in the whole, this has to be a podium race for me. And I think that's the wrong mindset for almost everyone to have, because you kill the fun of an event.
It's a journey. It's not a destination.
Yeah, I mean, you go over and
That's
see
what those people that never get on the podium say.
That's how we console one another. I wouldn't want to be on that podium anyway.
Well, you could fall off and hurt yourself, and then you'd have to take 5
That's right.
weeks off.
I could need an IV. Oh wait,
They won't give you one.
Yeah, they won't give you one. So I mean, you could go over to Florence and have what's that place we eat pizza at over there?
The Pie Factory.
The Pie
That's
Factory.
A good place. Odette.
Odette.
Pretty awesome.
And
You eaten at Odette?
Rigatoni's.
Rigatoni's.
No.
Yeah.
Have you eaten at Odette?
Odette, no.
Odette, it's new. Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it downtown or?
It is.
Okay.
It's right across the street.
Okay. Awesome.
Now he's not from Florence. He's from Muscle Shoals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So he knows a few places.
Okay.
Yeah, he gets offended when you group it together.
Yeah, you don't let the sun set
Yeah.
and be on the wrong side of the river is what they say over there.
Well, I definitely want to go where the locals go. So
you're going to take the right attitude in, and you're going to start doing a little bit of training.
a little bit.
And so,
I don't want to overdo it.
how do you increase it? I mean, what's your plan as far as increasing, say, week to week? Will you start with 2 bikes a week, 2 runs a week, or what's your plan?
Yeah, that's about what I'm planning on. 2 bikes, and then it's just bonus points if I get out on my little basket bike. So,
Now,
and
will
then
Sweet Jay be with you this whole time?
with me on the bike? Oh
For
yes.
the training. So,
Oh yes.
So he's plugged in too.
He's in.
Yeah, well, you got a partner.
He's in on the carry calendar. We put all the training when we do training on the
Ooh,
carry
Jay,
calendar.
boy, he has taken a second back seat there. Not the J calendar, it's the carry calendar. Yes, dear.
Yeah.
Yes, dear.
Listen, when you're in space and you ain't the sun, you just don't matter. All right, so you don't. Yeah. So everybody knows it's the carry calendar.
Sorry, Jay. We'll talk later.
Yeah. So he's going to somewhat be there for, I guess, carry your water and such. So you've got the swim bike.
Oh, he's going to try to beat me.
No, he's
I
not.
mean, he's really sweet,
Really?
but he is going to try to beat me for sure.
I remember riding with Jay one time, and I could see how brown his chain was from 5 feet away. It was so rusty. I've never forgotten
But
that.
mine was clean, wasn't
But
it?
I don't know. He's got a new bike. This was years ago.
Oh, yes.
Years ago.
He can only clean one bike. It ain't going to be his.
It's gonna be
it's-
spotless.
Yeah, hers is going to be spotless.
If there's time to clean your bike, there's time to re-clean mine.
That's right.
So you're going to start biking a couple times a week and run a couple of times a week, and you got the Renaissance Man in July, and then what race do you have?
then Rocket Man. And then it's back into retirement. No, I'm hoping that this will kind of jumpstart us a little bit, just to kind of get back at triathlon a little bit. So Rocket Man with the new course, I had to do it. So that was just not an option. I was like, there's a new course. That's exciting. You know, I love the Ditto Landing area. It should be really great. So, yeah,
that's
hopefully.
about a month.
That's, right at a month after.
Yeah.
So, you know, a quick little recovery for a few days, and then hopefully.
You'll have accrued 6 or 7 bikes by then.
So you have the Rocket Man then in August, and then how about running events in the fall?
I'm signed up for a 50K in Georgia in November.
That doesn't sound like commitment.
I said I'm signed up.
I'm signed up, and yeah. Are you going to do it?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I am.
All right. And so where's
Unless
it at?
an ice storm stops her, like the Black Warrior.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the Black Warrior?
Oh yes, that was
Yeah.
yes.
I'm talking to you,
Oh.
Mr. Phone Looker at her.
Well, I was trying to look.
Remember we were signed up to do the Black Warrior and didn't.
I have a picture somewhere in my phone of Carrie. I've been with her on.
Put your phone up.
I've been on several rides with her where she has skipped across the road. One time I'm riding behind her.
Skipping would apply on one's feet.
It was not on my feet.
No.
She skittered across the road.
Yeah. She skittered on the sweetmeat across the road after one time her back tire came off. Yeah.
I remember I get to see a little of her hiney through the shorts.
You're welcome.
She is so tough. I mean, there's very few people would be able to get off the bike and get back on, and she wanted to do that, and thankfully some people talked her out of it, and she gave me her peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
There you go.
Everybody won that day.
Everybody won. It's a win-win for everybody. So you got these events that are coming up. You got the run in the fall, and are you going to do the Swim Hobbs Island?
We have talked about that.
Okay.
We being Jay has talked about that. So I think there's going to be some interest
It's on
in
Jay's calendar.
It's on. He
Jay's
doesn't
calendar.
really have his
It's
own
a post-it
calendar.
note. It's on the back.
No. Pack Carrie's crap. That's the first thing every day. Hey, thanks, Carrie, for being here.
All right.
Thanks for
Thanks
coming,
for having me,
Jerry.
guys.
It's great seeing you.
Yep.
It's
We'll be
great
back.
to
See
see
you
y'all
in the
too.
shows.
We'll be back after
Yes.
these messages on Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama. I'm Parker Edmiston, and I'm here with my friend and co-host Doug Tinkham. We're at the Straightdale Brewery on Lehman Ferry Road, one of our sponsors. A big shout-out and thank you to Red Bull, also a sponsor. And we're here in studio again with Susie Bowermaster, who was with us last week, and also with Andrew Walker from PhysioWorksHSV.com. It almost sounded like a telethon last week when Susie was here.
And she's about to tell us the life-changing moment when she met
and
Andrew Walker.
It was a cliffhanger.
Was.
And so, yes, you met Andrew Walker, and how have you progressed with training and with therapy with Andrew?
It has been amazing because last year I was able to build up mileage after I'd come back from all those years of not running, and then in October I just completely was not able to run. So I went to a physical therapist and they gave me one little exercise to do over and over again. And so finally I went back and they referred me to one of their former employees, Andrew, and that was when I found the physical therapist who really cares about you.
Okay. So now we have Andrew Walker. He's in studio. And Andrew, when you saw this shell of a runner, this broken down and beaten,
this Boston qualifier
on my first marathon, but you knew she had a horrible history as far as physical therapy goes. Mm-hmm. How did you evaluate her, and what did you do for her?
Well, one of the things that was in my mind was that Susie had not necessarily positive experiences with physical therapists. So, the key thing was actually getting her on board with what we were going to recommend. So, the biggest thing to do that was A, to be professional, but B, to give her a thorough examination. And I do that to all clients, but that involved, like we've talked about before, the full top-to-bottom physical examination and the video running analysis. And once we got her on the video capture, we could see things in her running that you just couldn't very easily break down in the with the naked eye.
Not when you're moving fast enough to qualify for Boston.
Hey, exactly.
Well, I think that's a good point, though, Andrew, is that there's a lot of folks that are skeptical that the physio or that the physical therapy will work. You know, they hear these horrible stories that Susie told us, and so they're not willing to commit. But Susie was willing to commit, and so...
Well, you're specialized, too, and, I mean, you take it to an athlete the way no one else does that I've heard.
Well, and, I mean, some of that is because I focus my clinic on the athlete. So if a clinic is more of a generalized clinic, they're gonna be having to treat stroke patients, knee replacements, as well as sports patients. So they can't keep up with all the latest research. And if I'm giving you an exercise, I'm giving you an exercise because there's some evidence behind it. And that's one reason why I don't use kinesio tape. And I just put a blog post about that because it's about 3 times as much as regular athletic tape.
But you know we're sponsored by Kinesio.
Oh, dear.
No, we're not.
Well, you should get rid of it.
Yeah.
But it's actually, the research shows that there's no benefit of using Kinesio tape over regular athletic tape. And by able to show...
Hey, Kerry Walsh was rocking the tape.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. And actually, the Kinesio tape sponsored, I think it was 50 or 60 countries in the 2008 Olympics. That's how they got their product out there. But the key thing is showing the athlete that there is research behind what we're doing, and basically showing them that we're not just giving them something for the sake of doing it, and there's actually a benefit to them exhausting their time and doing it.
So Susie came to you, you got her on board, you started working with her, and what type of improvements did you see?
Every session that Susie came back, I retested some of the things that we saw as deficits from the evaluation, such as strength. So I kept looking at her hip strength. Her glute muscles were very, very weak when she first came. So we've retested those, and again, they've gotten stronger. And we've also been able to progress exercises, because some exercises, when she first did them, you could see that the form was not great and they were difficult. And we were able to progress that. And it's not that Susie's out of shape. I mean, the people on the video can see that she's not, but it's about getting good motor control and actually having good form. So we've made sure that happens.
Could you say motor control again for us?
Motor control.
Oh, no.
Well, you may have, and I think that's a good point again, Andrew. You got some folks that may come to you that are Ironman athletes. That means that they're very in shape, but they may have specific areas of weakness, and that causes them injuries.
And that's exactly right. There's actually some really good papers out there that show that some people who have what we call great mirror muscles actually have some really weak, deep muscles that are the ones that control the finer movements and actually help to reduce injury risk. So knowing that anatomy and knowing that research helps drive my treatments. And Susie's come, is it 3 or 4 times?
I think it's only 3.
Is it only 3 times? Before, she was hitting a wall about the 11-mile mark, and now she's actually not had knee pain, particularly even running half marathons.
And so you've got a program where you can watch them progress from beginning to end, to doing the strength exercises and et cetera, and then you can evaluate them as they go through the program.
Yes, that's true. And then the key thing is that after at the end of 6 months after her appointment, we can re-video and we can overlay that video from the original video and see the difference.
Thank you, Andrew, from PhysioWorksHSV.com. Thanks for being here, and we look forward to your next visit.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back, everybody. Another segment here on Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama. We appreciate you listening to us on WTKI and WEKI, and that's in Huntsville and Decatur. I'm Parker Edmiston here with my friend and co-host Doug Tinkham, and our special guest from the Madison County Reserve Deputy Program is Mr. Tony Taylor. Tony, thanks for being here.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
You came and were on the show last week, and you talked to us a little bit about the obstacle course race that you did recently, and we started talking about the Rocket City Urban Challenge that's going to be a fundraiser for the Reserve Deputy Program. Tell us a little bit about how you got into obstacle course racing.
Actually, I started seeing them pop up, 4 to 5 years ago, and I had been doing triathlons here in North Alabama area, and I like that cross-training part of it. But the obstacle courses, they kind of reminded me of my time in the military, and you can do them as a team. And it's really not an individual race. It's more of most of them are generated towards a team event where you're all 3 or 4 trying to get over that obstacle.
Right.
So I just like the different challenges. It's different muscles and different endurance levels that are.
Are you a CrossFitter?
I belong to the CrossFit gym across the street, and I
great.
also belong to a boot camp, firm body boot camp that works out down in Big Spring Park downtown. So I got a couple of
Now,
those.
I don't know if you know, Doug, but Tony said recently that his team will whoop ass at the race. There's no other law enforcement team that can come and match the heat that they're going to put on everybody.
That's
November
fantastic.
7th,
You
right?
heard it here,
Is there
folks.
anybody? I mean, the Huntsville City Police, are they going to be able to touch you?
Me personally, I don't think so.
Okay.
They're not going to be able to find me.
I thought he was
They're
going to
gonna
back
find-
down.
Oh, no,
He's
nothing.
bowing up.
Oh, I thought the glove came down,
Yeah,
didn't it? It was
yeah.
right. It skipped over the table onto the
Yeah,
concrete.
yes.
I'd never turn down a challenge, and
Yeah.
it's going to be hard to touch me because it's going to be hard to find me on the course.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
yeah.
all over. The
Now,
place.
is there going to be any side betting going on amongst our boys in blue and brown?
I don't know. I'd have to see who's
kinda
entering the
good.
race.
Oh,
first.
wait now. Are you pulling back?
No. I accept any and all challenges. Makes the race more fun.
So
For
I
sure.
think the Reserve Deputy Program, of course, they'll be there on support November 7th at the Rocket City Urban Challenge. But it'd be important for the Reserve Deputy to field a team and to challenge the other law enforcement agencies in North Alabama. I think that'd be a cool. That'd be a cool race for y'all.
That's my goal, is to get a team fielded.
Yep.
And
Well, you
make
don't even
sure
have a
everybody-
team yet, and you're talking
Well,
smack.
I've talked to some others
That's
about
impressive.
it.
When you're
Talked to
the
some others
anchor,
already.
I
yeah.
hear ya.
You know, he
Yeah.
will
Player
pull
coach.
that team
I'm
together.
player coach,
I
so
mean,
at
come
this
on.
point.
You know, LeBron doesn't talk about 2, 3, and 4.
Could he deputize me, and then I could be on the team?
Yeah. Now he does know, of course, that the stun gun's not used, right, with against other participants. Yeah. So if y'all have a team, I think it'd be a great way to get this rivalry with the other. And I know that's a big part, I guess, of being in law enforcement, is the training, that you do, just being prepared for the job.
Yes, it is. It correlates directly. The physical fitness and being able to get over these obstacles is something.
What about firemen? Are there going to be any of those in there?
We're putting a challenge
I would
out
think-
for
I
fire
would think
departments.
So. Firefighters want to get into
Yeah.
that. Yeah, they do a lot of that. They do a lot of hard physical training too.
We've heard from DA's office. I think there's probably 7 or 8 teams signed up right now.
Cool.
And so now we just need to, of course, we're going still through the process of getting it approved and getting everything that I's dot, the T's crossed,
Right.
and we have a lot of big announcements coming up over the next month or so. Who do you think in the law enforcement community can you beat worse?
The dispatchers?
Can you beat the
Let's see,
dispatchers? You know, at some point, if
let's
he
just
gets
go-
beat by the dispatchers, do you just call in sick for a while?
Well, we got to have him back on the show.
Yeah. I mean, the day after. I mean, he's got to come back in.
We'll have a nice,
Yeah.
fresh crow.
If,
to
can't
eat.
if
call
the
out,
meter
yeah.
maids come in,
You can't
and
call out
if
Hemsey
the meter
'cause they're
maids.
gonna-
Yeah.
Can't call out Hemsey because
Yeah.
they're going to be working on my turned ankle.
This is a call out to all the meter maids
That's it.
downtown to bring in.
Bring your Cushman scooters. Yeah.
Let's just take it national. I'll say FBI. Calling FBI.
He's
call
calling
them
the
out.
FBI out.
Wow.
Yeah,
How about on the
FBI.
Arsenal? The Arsenal has law enforcement out there.
They do have some uniform security out there.
How about mall cops?
Bring them on.
There you
Bring
go.
'em on,
He's not afraid
baby.
of the mall cops. Paul Blart.
Tony, listen, we appreciate you being back here again and your good nature, and we appreciate that. And we'll be back after these messages on Swim, Bike, Run, Alabama.